All right, namaste. Welcome to this new series that we are starting today of Bhagavad Gita. And in this series, we're going to meet every day on this YouTube live from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. We will keep this as bilingual, and the recordings will be present on the YouTube for people who miss it. However, I would appreciate, and it will be more beneficial for everyone if you join it live rather than watching the recording in the end. Please keep that option as SOS only. तो हर रोज आज से हम शाम को या रात को 8 से 9 बजे मिलेंगे हर रोज भागवत गीता पढ़ने के लिए, जिसके 18 अध्याय हैं। 18 दिन में हो सका तो 18 दिन में कंप्लीट करेंगे, एक दिन में एक अध्याय रोज हो गया, नहीं तो 21 दिन तक हम ऐसा करेंगे। और आप डेली जो है लिंक आपको एडवांस में आ जाएगा, आप इसे देखें। अगर आप ना देख पाए, ये बायलिंगुअल प्रोग्राम रहेगा, तो आप बाद में रिकॉर्डिंग देख सकते हैं। लेकिन मैं आप सबसे दरख्वास्त करूंगी कि लाइव आप ज्वाइन करें। ग्रुप एनर्जीज वैसे भी बहुत स्ट्रांग होती है, सब लोग साथ में होंगे तो आपको ज्यादा बेनिफिट करेगा। SOS इमरजेंसी में ही बात के लिए रखें। तो आज भागवत गीता हम शुरू करेंगे। आज हमारी पहली क्लास है। हम सब लोग जानते हैं कि भागवत गीता महाभारत का एक पार्ट है, जहां पर कुरुक्षेत्र में महाभारत की लड़ाई लड़ी गई थी कौरवों और पांडवों के बीच में, जहां पर अर्जुन ने युद्ध से पहले हाथ खड़े कर दिए थे कि मेरे सामने मेरे गुरुजन, मेरे बड़े बुजुर्ग हैं, मैं नहीं लड़ूंगा। तो कृष्ण जी ने अपना विराट रूप दिखाकर उनको दीक्षा दी थी। यही भागवत गीता में है। और भागवत गीता के कुल 18 अध्याय हैं और 700 श्लोक हैं। और भागवत गीता के अलग अलग वर्जन्स है। इस्कॉन की भी भागवत गीता है, गीता प्रेस वालों की भी है। संस्कृत के श्लोक रहते हैं, फिर हिंदी में उसका एक्सप्लेनेशन रहता है। हिंदी, इंग्लिश, अलग अलग भाषाओं में ये बनी है। सो लाइक डिस्कस्ड, Bhagavad Gita is a very much part of Mahabharata, and it is a story of the war that happened between Kauravas and Pandavas. And it has got 18 chapters, total 700 shlokas. And the bottom line is, it talks about situation wherein just before the war, Arjuna gave up and he said he got overwhelmed and he said, I cannot fight my elders. What's the point of winning all the kingdom or property or whatever if I have to kill or attack my loved ones? So, and then that is the time when Lord Krishna gives him that gyan, Bhagavad Gita gyan. So Gita has different versions. There's a Gita from ISKCON, there's a Gita from Gita Press, and then, like I said, we will try to complete this course between anywhere between 18 to 21 days. You can feel free to leave comments when you watch this video for your queries. Just think about it for a minute. Why is that this Mahabharata happened ages old? Why is it that even in today's time we talk about Gita, we study Gita? It's being taught in Oxford and foreign universities. It is applicable and it is taught in corporates, in MBS. तो कुछ तो ऐसी खूबी या बात होगी जो रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी में हम लोग भागवत गीता को आज की डेट में भी पढ़ रहे हैं, कॉर्पोरेट में, MBA में, फॉरेन यूनिवर्सिटी में। तो क्या है, क्योंकि भागवत गीता सिर्फ इतनी सी नहीं है कि महाभारत के कुछ श्लोक हैं, युद्ध से पहले क्या हुआ, कृष्ण जी ने विराट रूप दिखाया। आज कलयुग में सबसे ज्यादा भागवत गीता का महत्व हो जाता है, क्योंकि घर घर में लड़ाई चल रही है, प्रॉपर्टी को लेके, भाई भाई के बीच में, पति पत्नी को लेके, डिवोर्स, एलिमोनीज, प्रॉपर्टी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, छल कपट, मैन्युपुलेशन, करप्शन, इंटेग्रिटी इशू, पॉलीगैमी, स्पाउस चीटिंग ऑन ईच अदर। सो आज कलयुग में हम इंतजार कर रहे हैं कल की अवतार का, लेकिन ये चीजें, समस्याएं बढ़ती चली जा रही हैं घर घर में, अलग अलग रूप में। तो भागवत गीता से हमें ये नॉलेज, विजडम मिलता है, ये सीख मिलती है। नंबर 1, कैसे इन परेशानियों को यहाँ और यहाँ ना लेके यहाँ और यहाँ ना लेके खुद को ब्रेक डाउन करने दें, बल्कि उसे कैसे पॉलिटिकली करेक्ट वे में डिप्लोमेटिक होकर हैंडल करें और आगे बढ़ें. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to talk about what are the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita along with number of shlokas. You might want to start maintaining a journal, get a copy and pen and make notes so that you can refer to it. And it is said that one time when you do Bhagavad Gita, it's not enough. You know, repetition is important. बार बार पढ़ेंगे, बार बार क्लास अटेंड करेंगे तो और समझ में आएगा. हर बार उसका रहस्य जो गूढ़ है वो जो है एक आपके सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में रजिस्टर होता जाएगा. तो मैंने बताया देयर आर टोटल 18 chapters and 700 shlokas. So the first adhyay, so the adhyay names, okay, are yogas. So the first adhyay consists of total of 47 shlokas and it's called Arjun Vishad Yoga. So obviously it is about Arjun and his getting overwhelmed, and we're going to do chapter 1 today of Bhagavad Gita. Second chapter has 72 shlokas. Okay, so the total becomes 700 like I said, and the name is Jnana Yoga, or it is even known as Sankhya Yoga. Third chapter of Bhagavad Gita consists of total of 43 shlokas and known by the name of Karma Yoga. Fourth chapter has 42 shlokas and called as Gyan Karma Sannyas Yoga. Fifth chapter with 29 Sanskrit shlokas is known as Karma Sannyas Yoga. Sixth chapter with 47 shloks, Atma Sanyam Yoga. Seventh chapter with 30 shlokas, Gyan Vigyan Yoga. Eighth chapter with 28 shlokas, Akshar Brahm Yoga. Ninth chapter with 34 shlokas, Raj Vidya Gush Yoga. 10th chapter with 42 shlokas, Vibhuti Yoga. 11th, very important chapter, rather extremely important chapter with 55 shlokas, 55 shlokas, Vishwa Darshan Yoga. Why this is important, Vishwa Darshan Yoga? Because this is the chapter in which Lord Krishna revealed his Virat Roop. Okay, so this is the crux of the matter. Chapter 12 with 20 shlokas, Bhakti Yoga. Chapter 13 with 34 yogas, Kshetra Vibhag Yoga. Chapter 14 with 27 shlokas, Gun Yatra Vibhag Yoga. Chapter 15 with 20 shlokas, Purushottam Yoga. Chapter 16 with 24 shlokas, Deva Sur Sampati Yoga. Chapter 17 with 28 shlokas, Shadratra Vibhaga Yoga. Chapter 18 with 78 shlokas, Moksha Sannyas Yoga. Now, another important part is, like I shared, that 11th chapter is the most critical one because that's where Lord Krishna revealed his true self to Arjuna, okay, and gave him that Gita Updesh. Now, which one out of the 18 chapters is the longest chapter? It is the last chapter, 18th chapter. Remember, as I said, with 78 shlokas, Moksha Sannyas Yoga is the biggest chapter in the Bhagavad Gita. And if I have to speak about the smallest chapter, there are two, chapter 12 and chapter 15. Chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga, and chapter 15, Purushottam Yoga, each with 20 shlokas. So total number of shlokas, if you add, they get added up to 700. Today I'm going to start, and I'm referring to the English Gita of ISKCON. And today I'm going to touch upon the first chapter, okay? So in this book in English, it's called Observing the Armies. We already did the actual name already, Arjun Vishad Yoga. Now in this they talk about the entire setup of the army, how one side you have Kauravas and how on the opposite side you have Pandavas. So Kauravas obviously think they're going to win because they have more strength, more resources, their logistics are well planned, their quantity is more in terms of number of people, muscle power. Pandavas comparatively, logistics, resources, everything is less. But eventually they win because Krishna is with them. Even though he's not fighting, but the blessing is there. Number one. Number two, because they are right. Integrity. So when you are right, then God also helps you. Okay. Who is stronger muscle wise doesn't matter. So when we talk about observing the armies, it's battle of Kurukshetra, like we discussed. Dhritarashtra is getting the everything described to him by Sanjay, what is happening in the battlefield, because Dhritarashtra is blind and he's curious to know what is happening because he wants his sons to win. Kauravas, though they are not right, but he still, पुत्र मोह में पागल हैं, पुत्र मोह के आगे कुछ दिखता ही नहीं है, तो संजय जो है उनको सब कुछ बता रहे हैं. Okay. And then, like I said that Sanjay basically was a student of Vyasa. So Vyasa blessed him that telepathically he can connect through distance to any place, like being a clairvoyant and see what is going on. Okay. So now, see, Kauravas and Pandavas, basically they were from the same family. They were cousins. Pandavas were Panduputra. Okay. And Pandu was actually the younger brother of Dhritarashtra. So basically Pandavas were cheated, manipulated, and they were separated from the family heritage, and that's why ultimately the Kurukshetra battle happened. So now here we had Dronacharya, who was the commander-in-chief for Kaurava. Then there we had Krishna. Then Arjuna was one of the favorite student of Duryodhana, and we all know that. And so Arjuna tells Krishna that before the war begins, I want to go closer and just have a view at the enemy, and I want to see them closely one last time, because my cousins, my brothers, my friends, my relatives, my gurus, teachers, my elders are there. So I want to have a closer look. I want to see how they can fight. I want to see why they did not agree to any peaceful arrangement. I want to see why they could not see to any middle grounds, like that. So if we talk about who all were there, so in the battle, we all know about the strength of Bhima and Arjuna. Then there were powerful fighters like Drashketu, Purojit, Sabya, then Yudhamanyu, Utamuja, who was the son of Subhadra and son of Draupadi's. So all these were there at Pandava's side. And then Kaurava side, we had some great people like Bhishma, Karna, we know. He was Kunti Putra, but then he was friendly with Duryodhana. So Karna also was from Duryodhana, Kaurava side. Kripa, Ashwathama. Okay, Ashwathama was Duryodhana's son. Vikarna, son of Somdat. So all these guys were here, this side. So now, basically, and Bhishma was the grandfather for Pandavas. For Arjun, if you see, he was a grandfather. So if we talk about the comparative analysis, we always look at comparative analysis in today's world. Okay, is my enemy strong or not? In terms of money, sophistication, social, marital structure, etc., etc. So in terms of comparative analysis, if you see, the strength of the armed forces is immeasurable for Kauravas. Okay, they have the gurus who actually taught Pandavas. Okay, so the guru is here. So comparative analysis, if we do, Kauravas are stronger than Pandavas. Okay, so Pandavas should die and not win. So Kauravas are very, very confident. Duryodhan is very, very confident, even though he knows he is manipulating, he's crossed the line, he's hit below the belt, but they're very, very confident that they're going to win. Now, so because he knows he has full support of Bhishma and Dronacharya. Okay, and most importantly, he knows that when Draupadi, when Chirharan happened, when Draupadi was in that helpless situation, and when she was dragged in the courtroom and she was fully naked, nobody uttered a word. Not Kunti, not Dronacharya, not Bhishma, everybody was there. So that extreme situation also, she was forced for Chirharan and forcibly pulled in that room, and nobody spoke anything. So everybody kept mum. So Duryodhana is further exploiting that, and he knows nobody is going to say anything to him. So nobody dares or whatever. So then the war preparations are done. Everybody, the drums and all, they are beating up, because that was symbolic that, before the war begins, then, they all blow the trumpet and all that happened. So now we know that eventually Pandavas only won, right? Kauravas were confident that they will win, but eventually Pandavas won, and that is because Lord Krishna were with them. So they were always in Krishna consciousness, and plus, like I said, they were right karmically. They were right. They were doing things with integrity. Okay? And Kauravas were on the wrong path karmically. Yeah? So they kept troubling Pandavas, but eventually Pandavas made it. Okay? So now, okay, what all different names do we have for Krishna? So it says Krishna is also known as Madhusudana because he killed the demon Madhu. Then he's also known as Govinda Ala Reala, Govinda Ala, because he gives pleasure to the cows and to our senses, 5 senses. He's also known as Vasudeva because he appeared as a son of Vasudeva. He's also known as Devaki Nandan because we know he he considered Devaki as his mother. He's also known as Yashoda Nandlala also because childhood he was with Yashoda. Then Partha Sarthi also. Partha is friend also, chariot, okay, to Arjuna. So he had different names, okay. And Arjuna here is in this shloka. I'm not reading shlokas as of now. I'm just talking about the overall thing today because it's day 1. Eventually we will see how it builds up, how the momentum builds up. We're going to talk about shlokas also if you want. Arjuna is referred to as Dhananjay, okay, because he helped his elder brother in fetching wealth. We know that. And Bhima is known as Vakodra because he was a voracious eater, okay. And he can also, not only voracious eater, he could perform Herculean task, okay, like killing Hidimba. Nobody else could. So now, so Pandu's son were clearly deceived, whether it was Lakh Ka Ghar, which was burned to ashes, and a lot of things happened, which we all know. So the point here is that Pandavas are confident, they have surrendered to Krishna and they are not stressed out. They know they will win क्योंकि वो कृष्ण जी की छत्र छाया में है. कौरवों को लगता है वो जीत जाएंगे क्योंकि उनकी संख्या ज़्यादा है ना. लेकिन पांडवों को पता है वो जीतेंगे क्योंकि प्रभु उनके साथ हैं. Now, also another symbolic thing is that the chariot of Arjuna, the flag that it carried was marked with Hanuman. Okay, Hanuman symbol, and Hanuman is Ram Bhakt, okay, and he's also, so Ram is Vishnu avatar, again Krishna, okay, and where Ram is there, Lakshmi, Sita has to be there because she will not live without her husband, and Hanuman is also known as Shiva's root, so that blessing is also with them. It's a symbolic, okay. So I'll read it to you. The emblem of Hanuman on the flag of Arjuna is another sign of victory because Hanuman cooperated with Lord Rama in the battle between Rama and Ramayana. So Ramayana happened much before then Mahabharata. Mahabharata happened later. We all know that. It's no rocket science. Now both Rama and Hanuman were present on the chariot of Arjuna to help him, right? Because Lord Krishna is Vishnu, Rama, okay? And Hanuman symbol is there on the flag. So now Lord Krishna is Rama himself, as I said, and Hanumana is there, and Sita is also going to follow because where Vishnu follows Lakshmi, है ना? Husband के पीछे पीछे wife जाएगी ना, out of love. तो husband आ गए तो wife भी आ जाएगी, kingdom भी आ जाएगा, पैसा भी आ जाएगा, दोनों ही आ जाएंगे, okay? So now, so now what happens is Arjun says that I want to take a closer look, take me closer to the enemy and I want to have a look. And he has a look and he gets goosebumps. So as a pure devotee of the Lord, Arjuna had no desire to fight with his cousin and brothers and forefathers and grandparents, Bhishma, his grandfather. But he was forced to come to the battlefield, okay, because they were not agreeing to any peaceful negotiation. So much of bargaining happened. At the end, they even said, "Give us only 5 villages. That's it." But they did not hear. So Pandavas did not want to fight, but Kauravas were so hell bent about it. And there was no question of peacemaking endeavor at all. Now, obviously, it's no open secret. It's actually an open secret that Duryodhana wanted the entire stuff. He wanted the cake, pie, and eat it too, and with all his evil plans. Okay, and there was full support and collaboration of his father in this. Otherwise, without the support, he wouldn't have done Dhritarashtra. Okay, so now Arjuna here. Okay, we've done various names of Krishna already. Okay, Partha also I've told you. So Krishna takes Arjuna closer to have a close look. And then that is the time when Arjuna sees his fathers, his grandfathers, teachers, all his maternal uncles. Paternal uncles are there. He sees his maternal uncles also. Then he sees his brothers, sons also. Sons also. Grandsons, friends, also his father-in-law and well-wishers. So he sees all kinds of his relatives, दाद का और नान का, सारी रिश्तेदारी, जात पात सब सामने आ जाती है. And he could see persons like Bhurishva, who were his father's friends, then grandfathers. I've spoken a couple of times, Bhishma and Somdata. His own teachers who taught him कि धनुष पकड़ना भी कैसे है, bow and arrow use भी कैसे करना है, that basic. Since childhood, Dronacharya, Kripacharya also. We've been only talking about Dronacharya. Kripacharya also. Maternal uncles, like I said, Salya and Shakuni. Shakuni we all know, है ना? सारा तो उसी ने किया था. Then brothers like Duryodhana, sons also like Lakshmana, friends also like Ashwatthama is a friend, Guru's son, but they were like same age. They grew up together. So Ashwatthama was a friend. So all of them were there. So different shades or different grades of friends and relatives are there. So he becomes overwhelmed. And I know this feeling. I've experienced it. You go numb. Your spine chills, okay, with compassion. And then he says that I feel my limbs of my body are quivering and my mouth is drying up. So this feeling is also known to me. कि अपने ही सामने खड़े हैं, इनसे लड़के कहाँ जाएंगे? हारे तो भी हारे और जीते तो भी हारे ही ना. इस प्रॉपर्टी का क्या करेंगे? जीत के भी क्या करेंगे? तो जबान सूखती है, अंदर जाती है. जैसे किसी को बहुत ज्यादा शुगर पेशेंट होते हैं ना, या हार्ट प्रॉब्लम होती है, वैसे वो जबान अंदर जाती है. आप पानी पीते रहे, ऐसा लगता है कि नीचे गिर जाए, टूट जाए. जिनके साथ आप बड़े हुए, जिन्होंने आपको पाला, जिन्होंने आपको प्यार किया, जो आधार है आपके जीवन का, अस्तित्व है, तो उनसे जीत के भी क्या करेंगे आप इन चीजों को? उस जीत में भी तो हार छुपी है आपकी, देखा जाए. और जो गॉड का फॉलोअर है, जैसे अर्जुन, हार्ट प्योर है, कंपैशन, तो बहुत ज्यादा करुणा है, बहुत ज्यादा कंपैशन है, बहुत ज्यादा लव है. तो वो तो कहता है कि मैं ये सब कुछ छोड़ के जंगल में जा रहा हूँ, मुझे नहीं चाहिए ये राजपाट, क्विट. एक तरीके से किसी को लग सकता है ये एग्जिट है, यू आर रनिंग अवे फ्रॉम द सिचुएशन, बट ही सेज मुझे ऐसी जीत नहीं चाहिए. आई एम गोइंग टू द फॉरेस्ट, आई एम क्लियर अबाउट इट, आई कैन नॉट किल देम, आई एम ओके, आई विल नॉट pick up my bow and arrow, let them come and kill me. I am okay with that. He forgets his dharma. As a Kshatriya, his dharma is he needs to have a kingdom. That's how he's going to serve the masses. Na? What is a king? How can you be a king without having a kingdom? So practically his entire community is there. All his blood relatives are there. And they've come to fight him. So this is a very, very overwhelming stage for Arjuna, and he's just losing it, and he doesn't have much time because the trumpet has been blown. युद्ध शुरू हो गया है. Last minute में अर्जुन भागने की कर रहा है, and he was also crying out of compassion. So this was not running away because of fear कि मैं हार जाऊंगा, but out of compassion that I don't want to hurt them, I don't want to harm them in the process and use my power on them. So those were the symptoms, and because of his softness. Okay, not of fear and phobia, but उनकी कोमलता, उनकी softness, उनका प्यार. So this is a characteristics of a pure devotee. Okay, you are soft within. You don't want to fight your family. You don't want to fight your people. कहते हैं बिजली भी गिरती है तो 7 घर छोड़ के गिरती है ना? So Arjuna tells Krishna, he further elaborates and says, my whole body is trembling. So I'm not reading word to you. Okay, I'm just picking out the gist. Hope you understand. Otherwise, first chapter will only take 3 days. Like especially in the beginning, I gave introduction, what is Bhagavad Gita, different types, number of chapters, shloka, different chapters name along with number of shlokas and all, and then we started this. So all this in one day, not possible if we read one by one. So I'm not doing a book reading here. We are doing analysis. So I've read it, I've underlined, made notes, related it experientially to situation and my experience as a spiritual healer over the period of time, meeting people, and then compilation of everything in my words, Gita in my words. Okay, and like I said, every time you read Gita, it's a different flavor. So let's say I teach you same Gita next year, 2023. Then again the interpretation or meaning or examples or the level or the intensity would be different. Okay, so every time you do it, repetition, karat karat abhyas ki janmat vodh sujan. There's this shloka like this. So anyways, coming back to this, Arjuna is telling Krishna that my whole body is trembling, my hair is standing on the edge, my bow and Gandava is slipping from my hand. I'm losing my grip, basically. Okay, and these guys are not weak internally, they are very strong mentally and emotionally, but right now they are chaotic, and skin is burning. So heart was burning. He was feeling a burning sensation all over. And he says, I am unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself, who I am, my identity, मेरा वजूद. क्योंकि यही तो मेरा वजूद थे. जब से मैंने होश संभाला, पैदा हुआ, ये इन्हीं को देखा, इन्हीं को समझा, इन्हीं की नजरों से दुनिया देखी. इन्होंने ही सही गलत की परिभाषा समझाई. यही तो स्तंभ है मेरे जीवन का, यही तो पिलर है. इनसे लड़के कहाँ जाऊं? है ना? So that is what he says. So he's losing his mental equilibrium. If you see, he's losing that, which is not good. So he says he understands the depth that he will not be happy even by gaining the victory here in this case. Okay. So now what is next is he sees that I do not see how any good can come from killing my own family. Okay, by harming them. So now Arjuna is reluctant to kill them. He says that let them come and kill me and I'm running away. And he's now decided to go into the forest and he's okay to die there for the rest of his life, hungry and without any resources. He's okay to suffer in silence but not fight his family. So now what happens next? He says, Oh Govinda, I discuss various names of Lord Krishna. Okay. Oh Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness or even life itself, and all those for whom we may desire them are now added on this battlefield. अरे इंसान पैसा, प्रॉपर्टी, राजपाट किसके लिए चाहता है? जब बहुत पैसा होगा तो मैं अपनी बीवी को हीरो का हार ला के दूंगा. जब बहुत पैसा होगा तो मैं अपने बेटे को यूएस पढ़ने भेजूंगा. जब बहुत पैसा होगा तो मैं अपनी मम्मी का ऑपरेशन कराऊंगी, वगैरह वगैरह. So why do you want money at the end of the day? To enjoy for people that you love, है ना? वो लोग ही नहीं रहे तो कैसे नोट खाएंगे? So then he says, Oh Madhusudana. So he's referring Lord Krishna with his different names. Govinda, Madhusudana. I discussed about 10 names with you. Oh Madhusudana, when teachers, Father is everything. He's your support. He's the basis of your life. He's somebody who gives you protection, your identity. He in astrology is referred to as sun. ओके सूर्य निकलना बंद कर दे तो पृथ्वी का क्या हाल हो? एक हफ्ता सूर्य ना निकले तो सोचिए. So sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, father-in-law, grandsons, brother-in-law, other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me. Why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? I'm not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange of for 3 worlds. ये तो एक वर्ल्ड है, तीनों जहान के लिए भी मैं इनको नहीं मारूंगा. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? It's hollow. He could see the hollowness in it. उसको उसमें खालीपन नजर आने लगा. Arjuna's deep affection for community and family members is exhibited here, partly because obviously, like I said, people who follow God, they have a lot of compassion in them, and it's a typical calculation, you know, compassion versus the materialistic life. Now, what happens next? So he says it's not proper for us to kill these guys. Now, please understand, as per Vedic injunctions, there are 6 exemptions when you can attack somebody. Okay, normally dharma, spirituality कहते हैं किसी पे attack नहीं करना, but 6 exception है according to Vedanta. So Vedic injunction 6 exemptions. Number 1 is a poison giver. If somebody gives you poison, you have all the right to attack him. Number 2, one who sets your fire on the house. इन्होंने लाक्ष ग्रह में आग लगाई थी ना, इनको जलाने के लिए जब ये लोग सुरंग से बच के निकले थे. Number 3, one who attacks with deadly weapons. So you have to defend yourself, and somebody is attacking, then that's allowed. Number 4, one who plunders riches. Number 5, one who occupies another's land. जबरदस्ती कब्जा कर ले आपके जमीन पर, तो आपको लड़ना पड़ेगा, हथियार उठाना पड़ेगा, आप भाग नहीं सकते वहां से डर कर. Number 6, one who kidnaps your wife. राम जी जो हैं, कृष्ण जी में तो फिर नटखट थे, राम जी तो बिल्कुल सादगी में थे, लेकिन जब रावण ने उनकी वाइफ को किडनैप किया तो फिर युद्ध हुआ ना रामायण का. ओके, सो ये 6 जो एग्जाम्पल्स हैं, इसमें आप हथियार उठा सकते हैं कार्मिकली अकॉर्डिंग टू धर्मा, और आप जो है वहाँ पर लड़ाई कर सकते हैं. ओके, सो नाउ व्हाट्स नेक्स्ट? Just 2 pages left, and then we're going to wrap it up, and tomorrow we're going to do chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita and meet at 8 p.m. again. So now what happens next is that so basically अभी कृष्णा ने उनको बोलना शुरू नहीं किया है, अभी अर्जुना ही अपनी बात कर रहे हैं. कौरवा तो सेल्फिश मोटिव में है, और अर्जुन जी जंगल में जाने की तैयारी कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि वो एक काइंड और सॉफ्ट हार्टेड पर्सन है. तो यहाँ पर हमारा चैप्टर 1 जो है आज कंप्लीट होता है. आप कमेंट्स में ज़रूर छोड़ें कि आपको समझ आया, नहीं समझ आया, कितना समझ में आया, कोई सवाल है, कुछ इसमें आप और ऐड करना चाहते हैं फर्स्ट अध्याय में. एंड थैंक यू सो मच फॉर योर टाइम. आप इसको जो है, इस लिंक को अपने लव वंस के साथ शेयर करें, ताकि और लोगों को भागवत गीता के बारे में पता चले. और हम कल फिर मिलेंगे, और अगर आप लोग चाहेंगे, आपकी रुचि है, इंटरेस्ट है, तो वील कवर संस्कृत श्लोकस ऑल्सो. यू कैन पुट दैट रिक्वेस्ट इन दी notes in the comment. Okay, so I think I shall take your leave now. Thank you so much for your time. धीरे धीरे भागवत गीता की सीख को अपने डे टू डे लाइफ में हम उतारेंगे. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर टुडे. नमस्कार.